Hey guys, welcome to the stream. So basically got a little bit of an announcement. We have a new coaster, so it'd be good to see your thoughts on it. And also, hopefully do some supports to the top hat in this stream. So, if you're there, say hello and welcome to the stream, guys. I've amended the volume slightly. Sorry, that was a bit loud. Hey guys, welcome to the stream. So, have a new coaster in the park where the bobsled was. I'm just waiting for the park to load up. I stupidly saved it with 4,000 guessing. Hey Tom, I'm better now. Literally had 3 days in bed just relaxing because the jaw felt like it had been ripped apart. Tooth was actually okay. It was just where they kind of maneuver you to get down the back there, you know, kind of stretch the jaw open. And for some reason, I've had a really dry throat since. So maybe it's because they had my jaw wedged open for like an hour. I don't know. Been suffering a little bit of hay fever, so nothing major. I'm okay. Just took a few days off just to recoup, basically, guys. Hey JP, how you doing, my friend? Teeth are not together, they're in bits. Got to go back beginning of May for, I can't remember what day it is, 14th I think, for the impressions to be done. And then probably about 2 weeks after that, I'll have the teeth fitted. So yes, a bit crappy, but is what it is. Quicker time frame than last year. Last year took 3 months. That was insane. But then saying that, it's only going to be about 2.5 months anyway, so it's not that far off anyway. But here's what it is. So last couple of days, I haven't really been playing. I've been fiddling with a coaster that I've put in. You guys need to let me know your thoughts on it in a moment. It is the coaster in the thumbnail. So we have a semi-launch top hat / 2 top hats kind of coaster. See what your thoughts are really, guys. But second the part's loaded, I'll show you. And we'll go from there. Hopefully you can hear me alright. I have turned the volume down now. Hopefully that's a bit better for you. So, like I say, we have this in here now. So basically we've got a top hat there, and we kind of have one here as well. Now this is half designed by me and half in-game pieces, so there's quite a unique element here where it goes into a half helix down and then swings in on itself a bit like Hyperia's first drop, I guess, I don't know, and then goes up into that top section. So the downside to that is it does create quite a bit of G-force here, but again, it's something I've got to fiddle with and have a little play with. So I think what we'll do, we'll start the stream from POV. Because of the type of coaster it is, the only POV that's really any decent is the front bumper, because the seat one, it's just as janky as anything. So we'll do a front bumper view, see what your thoughts are. It's not fully done yet, so bear with me. So there you go. It's not much. It's just something. Obviously, once theming and so forth is around it, it'll look quite good. I have done just little coastal protection nets going over here just to kind of cover up the entranceway and queue line. Yeah, I was just kind of fiddling with this really, and I thought, you know what, actually, that kind of works quite well. And the amount of speed that you actually get up there to get up that top hat is quite interesting. I think I just need to lower this bit down a bit, but also it kind of bows to the right for some reason, so I've got to figure that out. Because you can't, believe it or not, just select that bit of track and drag it across because of the way that the axis is done on it, because it goes upside down. So I've got to figure all that out. But I don't think it's too bad. Does the job quite nicely. Set some sights. My thoughts were, because that top hat is done, was to get some supports in there. Maybe do some supports to the big figure 8. Get yourself on the Giga. Get those done tonight, maybe. I did put just a little bit of support kind of work around here, just to kind of cover up the trough, just getting an idea for how I kind of want that. I'm not too sure how that's going to work on the bend there, so I've got to figure that out. But yeah, no, it's I think it works. I mean, what's your overall thoughts, guys? I mean, it looks good. It shoots off up that. Just rolls over the top quite nicely. And then I think you've always got 2 on track, if I remember rightly, going around. It comes out the top. Well, I think that looks quite cool, that little bit there. Works quite well. It's quite cool having both of them kind of shoot up at the same time. Yeah, theme-wise, haven't got a clue. I was thinking that apocalyptic kind of style. That's kind of the style I've gone for on the coaster, in and out, up and down, and so forth. But yeah, really, it's not the best thing in the world, but it just needs some refinement. But the problem is with this track, it's so hard to make it smooth that you can really only ever watch it in bumper view, because if you do track view, it's quite terrible. Don't know why. Just the one coaster you can never get smooth from seat view. This bit is absolutely terrible. Digga. I think it works. Good view of it going up the lift. Or up the launch into the top hat. And then you also get that flawless interact with it as well. And the Giga going around the back. So, and a little bit of the runaway mine train as well. So it's not too bad. I think it works. Once it's themed, once it's got a load of trees around it, once you're actually passing stuff, it'll kind of start to make sense. The only thing I've noticed is I've kind of got these 2 lift hills in this open area here, so not sure what I'm going to do with that. Have to figure that one out. So my thoughts were to get the supports done on this. The only downside is I've stupidly put the train and another coaster through, so the supports are going to be dictated by where these are. You know what I mean? But the advantage is the custom supports off this particular item can be incorporated into this. So we'll see. Let's see what we do, guys. So we'll just pause it. Grab that. And that. We'll do down to there on both sides. Get rid of the supports. Done. Right. Hey Darren, how you doing, my man? You good? True. Car looks great though, mate. It really does. Right. Those pipes might be a bit thicker. A bit slim to me. Too close. Far too close, guys. Okay. Hey Neil, how you doing, buddy? Getting there. Getting there. Well, I was half tempted to go to bed, in all honesty. Spent the last 3 days literally in bed. Just doing nothing apart from watching YouTube. How sad is that? That was all I got to watch. But built this kind of monstrosity of a coaster, so I'm just trying to work out some supports to kind of give it that realism-ish look. See, why won't it? Get a creative wall. What is that, mate? Just tried playing Planet Coaster for 6 years. Hey Supernova, you all good, my man? Hope you're doing well. Teeth are on the mend. Mouth feels a lot better. It's got this weird dry mouth since. So my apologies for not being online, guys. don't know if I'm liking this. Thought it would look better. Maybe because we haven't got anything else around it. I'm all good, buddy, all good. Mouth is on the mend now. What's your thoughts, guys? What do you reckon? Does it work? Do you see a future in it? I kinda can. Let's put some shops in just to fill the area. Plus it needs it. It's just kind of what theme we go with. And what potentially could go... Oh, excuse me, go there. Hey, SeaWorld fan. Thanks for joining. First time chat. Welcome. I don't quite know. Because the way the theming works is we kind of got this wilderness stroke western going into whatever, into a steampunk vibe, into spooky. So the spooky and the steampunk are going to kind of roll together because the coaster goes through there. But it will just be a different vibe that it will go through. So I'm thinking like a apocalyptic, you know, burnt out cars. Yeah, I'm not quite sure where to go with it yet. I was hoping by the time I get the coaster built, I'd have an idea. But not fully sure. So we have Chinatown into Pirate, which I've got to rearrange this area here. Pirate Volcano, dueling coasters into Adventure Vibe. Actually, it was quite a cool little shot the other day from the train when I did that video. It's just about here. So you get to see the boat come round through and then under. Quite a cool little view to have. So we're already getting those vibes of going in and out of stuff, which is pretty cool. So maybe I genuinely I don't know yet. It's been much easier building my other parts because I kind of knew where I was going, what I was doing. So like the spooky area is absolutely fine. I'm well chuffed with that. We got twin horror heights in here. And that kind of conceals itself quite nicely. So then it's just finishing off this back area. All those coasters are pretty much done bar this loop. I've got to sort out the entrance and exit to that loop. But full car park, detailed. Barriers so that the police can get in and out, security, however you want to look at it. Get the trams out for servicing. And then we've got the gondola going from the entrance to the entrance. Sorry guys, you can tell how croaky I am. Yeah, it's not fully done, Neil. I've got to work on it, mate. But I just kind of wanted to see how that top hat looked. And it's not as high as I thought it would be, so kind of does job quite nicely, and I think those supports are starting to come in. It's kind of got to fill this area, but then I think once we get some big trees in there and we have the train going through some trees behind with the coaster going, the perspective from this angle, you obviously probably won't really ever notice because you have just big trees and stuff. So yeah, I tried to make it as smooth as possible. It's such a pain in the backside coaster. I do like this inversion here. I like what I've done here. But we'll see. Get a couple of interactions with the mine train and the Giga. Yeah, it was quite cool that though. Quite like that. Here it comes. Quite like that. Yeah, it does need a bit, I know. I've just tried to play as safe as possible to try and make it as smooth as possible, but even with that you still can't do it in seat view. It's got to be a bumper view, unfortunately. Yeah, not done anything to the bridge. Bridge is still the same, that's all good. Kind of a cool viewpoint though now. The train. Hey Ross, how you doing my friend? It is a brand new coaster roller. I like how it crawls over the top hat. I think that works quite well. And then this one, kind of more of an icon kind of top hat, I guess. Kind of comes out of nowhere. The Giga shooting by, the train coming into the picture, Giga coming by again. And you also get the steampunk interaction through the, I don't know if you want to call it butterfly inversions, I'm not sure. It does look quite good. And you got movement going on pretty much everywhere. Yeah, that's kind of what I tried to do, really, as I was just mentioning. I do like how it comes into that inversion over the second one. Hey Patrick, how you doing, man? Maybe Potter style, yeah? Possibly, who knows? That could actually work quite well. Given it the type of coaster it is, we'll see. Not too sure. Whatever we do, we've got to incorporate this top spin in to kind of the design of the steampunk and whatever this is going to be. But yeah, cool shots. It's good. My personal favourite still is this one just here. Just look at that. Oh, why did it do that? Perfect shot then with both coasters. Something about that shot there for me, it just, something about the levels and just having it kind of peep out at the top, hang for a couple of seconds, come down, and at the same time you get this one going through the loop, that one coming out of the ailment, and then you have one come out the station in a second. Just lots going on. And if we look to the left, we then have the church, which incorporates the train station and the Slimer station in bottom. I think Apocalypse kind of works, but it's going to be piece count heavy because we've got the steampunk to do, which we've got a transition over here, and then we're going to have another one where we're going to be doing loads of excuse me, apocalyptic style, or possibly Potter, you know, like a dark castle. We could have that as like turrets and stuff, and you go over the top of the turrets. Yeah, that could be a possibility. I do like this inversion though, that works quite well. Kind of goes into a roll down, up. The problem is I think it pulls 6.2 Gs there, which is not good. But it's a benchmark for what I've started with. Whether or not it makes it, who knows, but we will see. We will see, guys. Sorry. Got to do something. Where are we? So yeah, I mean, sightlines wise, there's a great view, I think. Oh, where's it gone? Where has it gone? You can imagine trees up all around the side, the Giga going through. I've tried to pull this mountain out now, so I've pulled the hill out a little bit more, so it's kind of covering up the mine train. So you can kind of see where that's going. So all this is going to be terrain anyway, so you're not going to see much of it from here, but you will get to see the top bit. There you go. So it's just high enough to make an impact around the park. Just a bit worried about this gap here, that's all. Just looks, I didn't really think about that too much. It kind of works. Like I say, once I figure out what I'm doing with the steampunk coaster, we'll get this treed up and everything, and then that'll kind of that'll just disappear eventually. It'll disappear. I was saying earlier, I've just started just messing around with trying to get some kind of vibe going on with this now as well. Like I say, I don't want to put too many pieces in yet because we've still got to finish this area off and smooth out the coasters before it gets too low on the FPS, and then we can hit the ground running with theming. So it's, yeah, just getting things done. I've got to refine these 2 coasters. Got to refine the Giga still. Seems to lose so much speed. Excuse me guys, so much speed at the end here, which is unfortunate. It plows long. And it just... I know I could lower that, but I don't want it to go through the block section too quick. It does the job. It does the job. Sci-fi area. I just... Problem I have with sci-fi is, unless I do it underground, I don't do it. Because I find it, the in-game pieces, it's just all grey, and yes, you can change the colours, but there's not much you can actually do with it apart from do the same as what everybody else has done. And that was kind of what I loved about Magic Kingdom, the Funderland Magic Kingdom Park. The fact that I did it out of all the plaster and did it in a way that it looked like the real thing, but it just, it didn't look like the normal Planco sci-fi. I don't know, I did have an idea for an indoor ride here, dark ride, just kind of going through different scenes of Planco theming really. And then got to think about what I want to do here. Again, I haven't really been in the right wavelength mind-wise the last few days, just purely because it's been so uncomfortable. So I kind of knocked this out today in about 4 or 5 hours. I know 4 or 5 hours to do a coaster, and it's not that great, but just trying to make it fit in and make it work. Yeah, I'm not sure. One thing I try and always have is not continuity, but I try to blend everything so that everything kind of feels as like one full cohesive kind of theme throughout the park. But once you're in the area, you get a decisive idea that this is spooky, if you know what I mean. But then like with this, you kind of got the berms, you got the walkways and so forth, and then it just opens up into semi-steampunk-esque kind of feel. And then again, you'll have a very similar idea as you come around the corner here. How we go about it, I do not know. But it's the same with the China area. So you're fully engrossed in Chinatown. And then you'll have the coasters in the background going up the volcano. But then as we walk around, literally, it's a little bit different here because they're area to area. So obviously it's different theming, but blend that in, have a few palm trees around first of all, move this over here so it's not so obstructive to the view. Because once we move this whole area opens up for us, so we can really have a good play with the pirate then. And then we did start this off in the last stream, but I haven't really done anything else with it. Into the, excuse me, adventure stroke Mayan-esque kind of vibe, basically. But we've done these pathways, they're all trimmed up nicely, all done. Fully done, but you know, they're nearly there. God, I bet my voice sounds terrible. And then it's just merging something into here. I had planned on having the entrance to the coaster or whatever and the entrance to the dart ride coming off this main square. But I had no idea of what I'm going to do theming wise. We were going to call this a journey into plankification, I think it was. And basically just do like 3 or 4 main themes. So like you'll have a big scene of a pirate area, a big scene of a spooky area, just something different. What you can really do with the game. As you can see here, I was just messing around with the terrain. trying to get an idea of where that's going to go and how that's going to look, because this is going to come up here and kind of come down. And they'll have like these wooden buildings built into the side of the mountain, etc., just housing these stations. This will all be cave work inside. God, my voice is going, guys. Yeah, don't feel it. I'll tell you what it feels like. It feels like I actually got knocked out to have my teeth done, which I didn't do. I was wide awake. But if you've ever had an operation and you wake up, your mouth is like bone dry. And that's kind of how my mouth's been for like 3 days. Strange. He did have to jab me an extra 2 times in the jaw to anesthetize the area. So I can only imagine that's where he's gone a bit crazy. As in with the jaw pain and everything, but it's getting there, guys. Spaghetti. Ragu. But I think once, like always, we get trees in, everything like that, it'll all start to make sense. It all looks a bit like Ross just said, spaghetti. But we know from Funderland Adventure Valley how that turned out. That's kind of how this looked, how it looked before we went there. Great birthday present, mate. It really was. Matt Kilsby. Cheers for joining, mate. It's getting there. Not a huge amount done. But, well, to be fair, I have done a huge amount. I've kind of cemented a load of coasters in. They're all done. But it's growing. 100% growing. So, really, it's just kind of finishing this section off, getting a dart riding, seeing where that goes. Yeah, mine, luckily he's managed to save one, so he's going to refill it. But the other one is completely hollow at the moment. He's taken the root out. I've had the root canal done. I've just got to wait for, make sure there's no infections over the next 3 weeks, and then get the cap, get an impression done where they take an impression of the tooth as it is, so they can send that off to have one reconstructed. And basically, I think it's, I don't know, it's pretty much as I move in the new room, they're going to pack it, fill it, do what they've got to do with it, and then hopefully a week, 2 weeks later, they can then fit the cap, and then it's all done. I mean, touch wood, the one I had done last year, I've had no issues with whatsoever. But I tell you what is lovely, being able to drink now without wincing, and being able to eat things without wincing, the pain that I've been in for 8 months. Geesh. It's insane. To be honest, I need 8 months off, Matt. To be regenerized for it. I've been playing straight nearly for 6 years now on this game. Streaming for 4 or 5 years, I think. 4 years? 3 years? 4 years? No worries, Ross. No problem, mate. But it's getting there, you know. I haven't fully started theming everything yet, purely because if you know the PC version, if you don't have a great PC, it can lose FPS quite drastically. But we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold on a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 coasters in the park so far. 1 log flume, and the rest just a few flat rides. So, yeah, boat ride. Does the job quite well, to be fair. But like I done with the Chinese area, or China, Asia, whatever you want to call it, Japanese, I don't know, there's loads of different styles in there. But I built this surrounding feature to the observatory tower, so that was in. And then I just borrowed some blueprints off the workshop, just chucked them in around the coaster, just to get an idea for how I want the coaster to look. I've built the bridge. That again needs a couple more supports. But I haven't finished it because, again, like I say, it's just trying to get the implementation of the layout of the park done. And once I get that done, I can then just theme to my heart's content. I think this coaster works. It does need some refining, but something that can be done at a later date. Oh, hell no. No, Patrick, I won't get anything. Well, someone apparently has done 5,700 hours according to their post on the... where was it? On YouTube. So I'm a lightweight, apparently, according to some of them. But anyway. But it looks pretty cool. Come around here now. Now that you've actually got something to look at. Going over the top hat. Swooping down. Flying over here. Just adds again. So this area now, from a ride coaster point of view, this is pretty much done. So from here all the way around here is now done. I just need to refine things. So it is literally just figuring out where with this bit, basically, and what kind of theme. Well, it's a very different part to Adventure Valley. It's not as close knit, because basically Adventure Valley was half the size of this lake. It was basically that, where this is a whole map pretty much. So yeah. I appreciate it, my man. I appreciate it. I don't regard myself that way. I just, how can I put it? I just have a very unique way of putting things together, and making things look. But I call it levels and layers. You level things up, start with a foundation, start with a base, and then just start adding to it with an idea of the kind of design you want to go with in just respect to material pieces. And then like this, as you saw it in the stream the other week, it took 5 hours to add to something we had already done, but we finished up like that. And the transformation that took, just having this barrier in here, just adding those levels, stunning. Really, really was. Just really nice piece of architecture to look at. And that's nowhere near finished yet, so there's a lot more to do with it. And it'll be the same with the shop area, same with the exit way, same with the lock sections coming in. Sort all that out, and then we'll do groundwork afterwards. I've only done a little bit of groundwork in there. Just what I mean by groundwork is rock work and trees and foliage, just to kind of get an overall idea for how I kind of want it to look, and give you guys an idea as well, so you can kind of imagine that being all rock worked around here with the plant flower and stuff. So again, I'm not going to go that drastic throughout the coasters. It's going to be very similar to Funderland Adventure Valley, where I just literally try and theme around where the coaster is, just so that we don't over piece count and basically make the game run as good as possible, basically. Kind of what I've done here, I haven't really done anything terrain wise, but what I've done is I've implemented the main structures. So that's done, and then when you have a look at it here, it's not fully finished because there's not loads of weeds, but it kind of gives you an idea of how it's going to look. So hopefully we'll be able to pull it off. We'll see. I may have to do a computer upgrade by the time this park is finished, so I reckon we're probably another year away from it being finished. Sounds a long time, but trust me, we've been going since, was it August last year on this park? And this is kind of all we've done. Yes, there was a number of months where I wasn't very active because I was working nights, but you know, little bits that I did the other week, just this fencing around here, just opening it up a little bit so that you can see some of the main elements going through instead of just having all that cordoned off. There you go. So you're walking along the path, coming into the park, you turn and you see that. How cool is that? So just again adds little bits to it. You know, I didn't have to do that. I could have just used the thing going all the way along, but it just adds that slight, sorry guys, my voice, slight element of realism, let's say, I guess. But yeah. So we have a working tram that you can turn on and the peeps will use it, and also the gondola. Problem is with the gondola, for some reason, no, it keeps congregating about 2,000 guests literally at the entrance here. I don't know why it does it, but it is what it is. Full Main Street, as you've probably seen before. But very, very detailed. It's one of my best main streets, to be honest with you, because it actually does just feel like a city street. Really cool, I like it. But you got shops everywhere, restaurants. Got a restaurant in here. Stuck benches underneath the monsters' car seats, and they do sit on them. And then we have a funky arcade in here, which they do come in and use, because there is Planko arcades in there as well. Hotel, car park, fancy dress. Just as cool. I love it. I love how it's kind of come together. I think it's really, really nice. I mean, everyone's to their own. Everyone has their own personal taste and style and so forth, but I just like the way this is coming together, and I think literally once I refine that and figure that out, and we get cracking on this bit over here, we are literally, you're going to be sick and tired of me by the time we're done. Once my computer sorts its life out. But yeah. Fancy dress, Tom. Fancy dress. If you think it's an adult store, it's an adult store. It's completely up to you. Fancy dress as far as I'm concerned. But if you think it's like that, that's cool. Cool by me. I just think it works well. Just gives it a bit of colour. It says fancy dress, Tom. Take it however you want to, mate. I just like the way it's all put together. Back to the Future Diner. Just literally stuck bits of the car in there and stuck the flying car on the ceiling. And it may not look much, but it just sets that off quite nicely. Yes, that's kind of how I do it, Matt. How I've always done it. And the reason being is purely because the way my PC and everybody else's PC is if you get the coasters in and everything done first, you've got the smoothest coaster experiences possible. Where if you put 100,000 pieces in and then decide to build a coaster, I guarantee you that coaster will be so difficult to smooth out because you just haven't got the FPS to try and make it right, if you know what I mean. But if it wasn't for the game running so badly, I would theme one area, move to the next, theme one area, move to the next. But because of the way the game runs, if you get everything in first, and then you can tweak and change things. And the nice thing about having it all in first is that you can really, over time, decide whether or not it works. Like we had a big bobsled in here first, and it just never gelled with me. whatsoever, and I just couldn't see a decent theming process and including the rest of the park within the coaster, especially with this. The cool thing is, now as you come over the top here, it's not the best view at the moment, but once this is all treed and, you know, woodworked up, once this is all done, once the volcano's all treed and stuff, and yes, that's kind of a cool view. And it was the same here. As you look at everything, and that's quite a cool view actually. But you know, I've tried to take into account everything as I always do. But yeah, get everything in first because you can always change it, you know. But the advantage is, like this, I've changed this. I made this little loop a little bit bigger, but what it's done is it's messed up this bit here, so that's now not straight, and it's the same on the bit where you come into it. I think just over here, or did I manage to get that bit right? I got that bit right, so it's just the terrain. But yeah, it kind of makes sense to do it that way. Only because of the way the game runs more than anything. But we all know what we end up with at the end of the day. So, you know, what we're going to end up with is something as detailed as this throughout the whole park. And to give you that idea, the bit I love, because this actually feels pretty complete to me now. This bit, this view here, apart from the train station in the background, obviously. But you look all the way through there, that looks pretty complete. This is pretty much done. Just got to put some signs up for the actual shops, whatever that be. Whether I just use the writing and just call it sushi, I don't know. It just looks so good. Hey Steffi, how you doing? Yeah, it's always the worst thing is when you get towards an end of a build. I didn't do it in Magic Kingdom and I didn't do it in Adventure Valley, but when you look all the way back to the original Funderland park, the amusement park, I put a steel RMC up the back, and that was just an addition. And it didn't fit the park, it didn't look right, it didn't gel with anything. But it was there, you know. But again, it wasn't that smooth because it was done at the end of the build. I mean, I think I only had about 63,000 pieces. Hey Joshy, how you doing, my friend? 67,000 pieces, I think, overall, or 65. I'm good, man, I'm good. Just a little bit croaky still on the voice, so my apologies. But yeah, no, I mean, I started this park as just something, and I didn't know where I was going, what I was doing. All I knew what I wanted was a realistic car park. So what I did is, if anyone's been to Hollywood Studios in Florida, very similar. You got this dogleg right or left, depending on which way you look at it. Tram system that goes around the center. So I've just stuck that on a loop. They can use it. The station is all plumbed in. You got the entrance, the exit, and they only get on or off there. But they do stop at the car park areas. So I put block sections in to stop them, just to make it look real. Cheers, Steph. And then like here, this building here is very similar to one at Hollywood Studios. As you walk down literally down the side of the tram system, and then I kind of wanted to have this neon-esque look to it. So at night time, you kind of got the little neons going through most of the whether you want to call it 50s style buildings, I'm not too sure, but the kind of diner-esque finished buildings, as in the roof pieces, coach stations, etc. And everything's a little bit different. So where you got the entrance and exit. I just think it looks pretty cool. Does the job quite nice. Even like when you stand here and look at everything, it just looks awesome. But this is pretty much finished. There's not really much else to do out here apart from this bit. I've got to finish off the tunnel somehow, and then I've just got to veg out around the edge. But those are literally last additions, should we say. But it just looks so good from here. I love this look. This building is loosely modelled on the Crossroads at Hollywood Studios. It's not the same. It's much bigger, much wider, purely because of how the shops are, but it's fully usable. And it's fully done, and they do queue up around it. Specific shops have been taken because of this Theme Maker Toolkit item here. So you had donuts, burgers. So I've basically just put the same kind of shops in. Smoothies, smoothie. I think the other one's a coffee. So they were the only 4 kind of menu items that were available on the Theme Maker Toolkit that had any resemblance to the Planko shops. So that's kind of why they're there. And then you've always got my pride kind of rainbow. There's always a rainbow in my park of some sort, just to kind of celebrate that for everybody. Keep everybody included. We've done that twice here, so up the sides and in the floor. But it's just kind of a little signature thing that no one's really ever picked up on, if you know what I mean. But there's always a rainbow in my park of some sort. It was on the rat ride in Funderland Magic Kingdom as they come into the cafe. It's in the ceiling. In Funderland Adventure Valley, it's in the walkway to the space ride. So as you literally come into the entrance of the space ride and you go into the hill, there's a kind of arched bit, and there's an arched arrows, but they're done in a rainbow colour scheme. And then if you go all the way back to Funderland Adventure Valley, the cascade, where it goes underneath the walk path, the path, literally where I did that circle, that's kind of the pride thing for everybody, just to kind of have it in there. And that's kind of what that does as well. There you go. Little insight if nobody ever knew, but one thing I love is that train just coming through there. It just looks awesome. And then as you come out here, you then get a view of the whole park, or majority of the park, until you get out to here and you can see around the corner. But it's these views that I love. Just trying to get everything into proportion, basically make sure everything looks right. Like these observatory towers, they're so big and so high, but just the perspective of that is going to work so well. There you go, mate. Yeah, no one ever knows. I'm not a huge supporter, obviously, because, you know, but at the same time, it's just my little bit. I like rainbows. I find rainbows very peaceful. And I find the colour mix just, I know it's every colour, but what I mean is I just like the arrangement of it, basically. And it's just my little nod to that side of the community, or however you want to put it. Just to satisfy everybody's needs. A bit like one of my parks have been criticised, well, a lot of my parks have been criticised in the past because there's no disabled access. So for instance, this whole park, there's not one step, not one single step in this whole park. So basically, disabled access is everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. So no one can say, oh, well, you know, there's no ramps, there's no elevators, there's no, you ain't got to worry about that in this park, because literally the whole park, you can literally go anywhere in a wheelchair or a pushchair. Literally. So the whole park is built. That's the reason why a lot of the queue lines are actually quite big. A bit like this higgledy mess here, but it's kind of going to make sense to that once we figure out what we're going to do. But there's not one step, guys. So I've taken note of people's qualms from previous builds. Spooky dark ride. I don't think so. We've kind of got those, haven't we, with the horror heights, which I love. I love these. I think these are wicked. Go on the upside down one first. Roof. Seat 4. This is a view I'm enjoying more and more and more. Because if you look like kind of halfway down, it looks very, very finished, doesn't it now? That whole spooky area, bar the green bits where there needs to be rocks and stuff. But the more and more that's going in, the more and more detailed this ride is becoming, because you're getting to see more, if you know what I mean. I mean, look at that. That looks near enough done. Wish it was. It's a shame we can't do much more with that, but it is what it is. Try and put any more triggers in, it's just, it messes it up, unfortunately. But yeah, that was one thing I tried really hard not to do in this park, was have any stairs whatsoever. So that's kind of why a lot of the exit ways and everything are kind of built up quite a lot. Entrances, should I say. But I've also put what do you call it, priority pass lines in the majority of the big rides. I haven't done it for the boat rides because I don't see the point. It just takes up too much room. Haven't done it for the junior coasters, I don't think. Excuse me. But it's definitely getting there. So, I don't know on these supports though, I don't know if that's working. The problem is it's not that big a top hat, so when you build something like this it looks monstrous, you know what I mean? Because I tried just checking out when I was doing it, was... I haven't even got it now. Where's it gone? Posters. Blueprints. Where is it? Must have deleted it. Yeah. Well, there's 4,000 guests in here at the minute, and we're running at 18 frames a second, so it just shows that we are getting to a point where it's starting to fall off a cliff, which is doing my head in. But yeah, there really doesn't need to be so many guests waiting up for those, but they do. It's the same on here. This queue will be pretty much full, I reckon. Yep. And then the third one, doubt there'll be any in here. Yep, because there's no theming or anything. But there's the third station. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, guys. I'm falling asleep. But that was it. I weren't really going to do a stream tonight, to be honest. But I thought I might as well, just to show you the coaster. I think it works. And I think once we get stuff that we're flying past and kind of zooming up over, subject to what kind of theme we go with. It should work really well. Hey Onesie, how you doing, my friend? Literally drive. Yeah, they do, literally. I think what we'll do is there anyone going on this? There is. He's on his own. I'm just gonna we'll just let it run through. It's not the smoothest coaster from seat view, but hopefully you'll enjoy it. Well, I hope you're still all there, guys. Right. Okay, so let's have a think. Let's just grab a blueprint coaster and see what fits here, what doesn't fit here, and so on. It's not going to work. Really bad coasters, isn't they, really? I mean, I guess something like that would work. One of those. Can't do anything with those, I'm afraid, my man. They are shoddy. I mean, look at the graphics of the cars. It does make me giggle. But it's just a backdrop. Have a penthouse in the hotel here if you like, mate. Look out at the park. You can watch the old coasters go by. And the train. Antoine! How you doing, my man? How you doing, well, buddy? It's not a very entertaining stream this evening, I must admit. But, come on, where are you? Thank you. Right, now I am thinking of a bit further down with this one. I'm doing good, buddy. Back on the mend now. Had a couple of teeth worked on Tuesday. And I've just felt a bit ugh since, you know what I mean? So just kind of relaxing it all away, I think is the best way of putting it. So my thoughts with this is to have it kind of going in and out of things, so over and under bridges and all sorts of stuff. What the theme will be, I don't have a clue. At the moment, but we'll figure something out for it eventually. Maybe one day. Who knows? Hey Chris, how you doing? You're probably about right there, Ross. Yeah, probably. I wouldn't say a billion things, but yeah, a ton of things, let's put it that way. It's alright, just having a relaxing evening of Planko building, really. Nothing major. Oh. What would you recommend for a PC or laptop for plan coaster and editing? If you go on the old AM4 setup, which we all run on, just as high a setup as you can get, I don't know what's the best kind of scenario for that nowadays. I mean, I'm giving my specs. I'm running a 2 seconds. I'm only running a Ryzen 5 3600 XT. With 32 gig of RAM, running at 3200 hertz. Which doesn't sound a lot, but it is a lot, as far as I'm concerned. If you'll go one step further and basically completely future-proof yourself, go for a new AM5 setup. But I'm running a 4080 graphics card as well. That does make a huge difference. But what I'm struggling with now is my CPU. So I need to upgrade my CPU. Basically, to get the CPU and a RAM upgrade for what I've got, it will cost about £350. If I go for the new AM5 setup, I need a new chip, motherboard and RAM, which is about £1,200. So it's 3 times more expensive to go for the later stuff, which I'm not going to do. Not for some time anyway. I've got to pay all this off yet. And then I'm just umming and ahhing whether to bite the bullet and get the cheaper option, but then will I regret it from a future perspective? That's the only thing I'm worried about. But there's no, you know, you have a look at Johnny Five's Channel 5 gaming setup now. I mean, that cost him $7,000 apparently. So about £5,500, which is just for a computer. It's insane. And I know you all think us YouTube guys earn a lot of money. We don't. If I did, I'd go and get the AM5 setup. But yeah, you don't. Now, how do I want this to look? 165, so that's quite high. Oh yeah, I'll show you the new one in a minute, Chris. 2 seconds. Bear with me here a minute, guys. So basically we got a new coast, Chris, just over here. No worries, Joshy, catch you in a bit, buddy. So I've done a single launch, top hat, slash 0.2 top hat, just 4 decks coast basically. Put my own little kind of unique transition in there, which works quite well. And the rest are prefix pieces mostly, but it works quite well in that corner, I think. Wanted a launch coaster, we now got one. So yeah, does the job. And this one, we're just literally starting out on now. So. Not a bad guess for first time. Hope the picture's alright, guys. It looks like the signal's dropping out a little bit. My apologies if it is. Seems to work alright so far. Yeah, the end. But it's quite smooth though, considering it was first time kind of drop. Works quite well. It's too quick now. Typical. $60 is too much. Hey David, how you doing, my dude? I'm all good, mate. Why do people keep thinking a Planko 2 will be a DLC for Planet Zoo? Haven't heard of it. Probably another made up thing that someone's conjured together. Here it's going to be far too tight for what it is, so that's just not going to happen. Okay, so let's That ain't gonna work. And 4Gs now. That's fine. You read my mind, Patrick. Some speed to it, isn't it? Well, if they do that, they're there. So hold on, Mist, Moomin, and Wix, Iron, Mad. That assume we'll put Coaster in Planet Zoo. I don't know why you'd want to put coasters in Planet Zoo. Why? I mean, it's all speculation, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, if they were going to launch a Planet Coaster 2, they would have told us about it already, and they haven't. So, I don't know. I don't know. Hell of a lot of speed. Nice one, Ross. Not jealous at all. I am sat here with a beer. I can't moan too much. Oh, this is frustrating. Save guys, right? Yep, custom loop time, yes. You read my mind again, Patrick. What I save guys, sorry, bear with me. Why on earth, when I've got that bent? Why has I done that? Why is this so hard, guys? Oh, this just really isn't going anywhere for me right now, guys. I'm struggling. Actually didn't feel too bad. It's just a bit too quick, I think. It's a bit more realistic. That kind of works. Could be a bit more fluid here. Sorry guys, just thinking at the minute where to go with it. I'm quite surprised it went through the loop all right, though. No, I've never played Disney Infinity, my friend. So we've got block section there. That's coming round. Giga going through block section. No worries, Rob, mate. Just cheers for joining, mate. Much appreciated. What's going on? Why have I got the... This game. .62 on the G's, not good. Ugh. There's something again. Oh, excuse me. What do you reckon, guys? Tweak the tracks, do you mean? I don't think I'll be twerking on the track. I think any man would they? Good timing. First one literally goes through that block section as that hits the top. Cheers, Antoine. Now, what we theme it as, whatever we do, I haven't got a clue. Not going to be able to fit many bridges across here. Yeah, Onesie, yeah, I remember one of the first streams I ever did. I think I'd marked out the car park and I draw a grid. And I was going to do 4 big rides and that was it. But then I thought, you know what, might as well do what I do best. And this is how it all comes together. It's a little bit sporadic. Everything just happens when it happens. Whether or not that's the final coaster, I don't know. But what I need to do is get the hill up behind it, make sure it's all in situ, etc. And I think it looks alright. I quite like it. You'll think of it with trees around and rock work and whatever we're going to do here. Doesn't obviously have to be white either. Can change. I'm going to be honest, guys. I've been going for 3 hours. It's just gone midnight. And I do need to cook myself some food. Totally forgot. So I'm going to shoot off now, if that's alright. We finally have 2 coasters in. That's kind of what I was going with. I don't know what kind of design theme wise will go, but, you know, I like this bit. I'm quite surprised I managed to get that corkscrew through there, which was quite interesting actually, so that worked really, really well. Well, I do tend to find B&Ms are a little bit easier to build in the game than any other coaster for some reason. Something about them, you can just smooth them, they just seem to ride smoother, just everything about them just seems to be so much easier to build with. So I think that all works. We'll see. I change up the colours, sort the terrain out, figure out a theme, etc. But at least we've got 2 more coasters in, guys. See, I kind of sit there and think, oh, it still looks quite bare, but it's going to be because it's a huge park. Like I was saying, Funderland Adventure Valley literally was 1/2 of this with a lake going down the middle. This is double the size. Kind of work. Oh, I can't stop yawning. Oh, I hope it's nice and warm in Texas, my friend. But yeah, that's pretty much me done for the evening, guys. I won't drone on. I won't go into any mushy stuff. But yeah, if you want to smash that like, it'd be very much appreciated. Just gets the videos shown a little bit more to people that may not know of Planet Coaster. If you want to take that one step further and become a member or Patreon or anything like that, links are all in the description and the bio to the channel, guys. But thank you very much. Apologies I wasn't very chatty. It's only because my voice is literally in and out. But guys, thanks for joining the stream. Smash that like if you don't mind. It'd be very much appreciated. And I hope to be live tomorrow at some point. But I don't want to confirm anything just in case I'm feeling a bit cruddy. But guys, thank you very much for joining. Have a lovely morning, sleep, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world, guys. Love to you all. Speak to you all very soon. Bye bye.